Hi, my name is Melissa Pitts, and this is my presentation for Soch 280 on the globalization of the automobile industry. Automobiles, you see them out on the street every day, and you don't really think much about them, but so much has changed when it comes to the automobile industry. Um, I definitely think that on George Ritzer's scale of nothing to something, automobiles definitely were a something at the beginning of their time. That's undeniable. And they have made a leap all the way to the opposite end of the spectrum. And now I think that they're clearly a nothing. When it comes to the dimension of complexity, yes, I think the actual inner workings of a car has become more complex. I'm not going to deny that. They've gone from steam powered to electric to now gas powered, and they've just gotten way more complex. But when it comes to the actual assembly of cars, I think that it has become increasingly simplified because of the assembly line. What once was a bunch of time and effort and talent was taken to put together a car now is just a bunch of, sorry, my cats. Um, they are um, now manufactured much more in a simplified way for efficiency. When it comes to the spatial dimension, cars were once originally from right here in the state, Michigan. That's where the automobile that we know today was being assembled on the assembly line, and but as time went on, production improvement, price cutting, and increased sales and increased productivity made it clear that it was time for the automobile industry to expand. And so they started opening plants in other states in the United States. But after some more time went on, the automobile industry expanded to all over the world, and it's now a global industry. When it comes to the temporal dimension, um, cars definitely used to have more unique design. Like every year, new cars would come out and they would be something new and special. And so older cars and classic cars could be tied to a specific time period, making them more of a something. But now it seems like safety and practicality and efficiency is the top priority of car manufacturers, and people don't really want cars that look extremely drastic and different. Cars seem to look generally the same these days, and they're not tied to a specific time period exactly. Like each new model of car changes only very slightly, and it's not even noticeable some of the time. When it comes to the human dimension, everything when cars were put together in the good old days was done by hand, but as time has gone on, it's lost the human aspect of it because people are just trained to do specific skill on the assembly line over and over again, and the people have almost kind of become like robots. It's just not a very human experience anymore. um when it comes to the magical dimension, I feel that the magical dimension is like the warm fuzzy feeling that you get inside when you think of something, and so it's really subjective, but I think it is safe to say that when you see an old automobile ad or just an old automobile on the road, you definitely feel nostalgic and think of the good old days, and it gives you like that magic feeling inside. But now when you see cars, they're just the present day cars are just an everyday thing that's nothing special really, and that makes them more of a nothing in my eyes. um I also decided to analyze the automobile industry based on McDonaldization, because I decided to focus on this aspect because I think it's very evident that the manufacturing of vehicles has become increasingly McDonaldized. When it comes to efficiency, um, the biggest goal of like the top goal of automobile producers is to make cars quickly and as cheap as possible, pretty much. And it doesn't take much skill to do it anymore. It's just something that's done so quickly on the assembly line, and it's efficient. Exactly. Like it never used to be as efficient putting together an automobile, but over time it has become much more efficient. When it comes to calculability, in my mind, I think that um when you go to a car lot and you see numbers plastered all over the windows of cars, like that's how I feel that the automobile industry calculates things when it comes to miles per gallon, crash test rating, like how much a car can tow, and especially how much it costs. It's all calculated out. Like everyone is starving for these facts and figures, even though they're not entirely sure where they came from or what they mean. Um, when it comes to predictability, people don't really want a big surprise when they go get a car. Like if they're gonna get a certain kind of car, like for example a Chevy Aveo, they're expecting something that's not very luxurious. It's just cheap and gets good gas mileage. And but if you're getting like a Toyota 4Runner, you're expecting something that can hold a lot of people and it's not going to get as good of gas mileage, but you can tow things and stuff. So basically you just what you buy is like you're expecting to get what you're buying, you know? You don't want anything crazy and drastically different. And also, I think that this can be applied to when you're actually going to buy the car. Like it's almost like a performance when you go to a car dealership. It's like a scripted. It's like the car salesman is reading a script, and it's predictable. You're not expecting anything different when you go to buy a car. Um, when it comes to control, automotive manufacturers are in control of exactly how a car turns out. They teach people how to put them together, and they know exactly how they're going to turn out, and that's all in their hands. And replacing human by non-human technology is very obvious because jobs that were once done by humans are being replaced. The humans are being replaced by these machines that can do the jobs for them. And it's cheap, quick, and efficient. And I'm sure in time this is just going to keep happening more and more, and people are going to lose jobs to robots. Um, you're probably wondering how this all affects you. Well, seeing as we're from Michigan, the heart of our own like once prosperous state was the automobile industry, but now jobs are moving out and unemployment is moving in because of the globalization of the automobile industry. Things that used to be done just here are being done for cheaper all in other countries, and it's affecting us because we're losing jobs, and because laborers will work for less in other countries. And so I feel that in our conquest to McDonald's the automobile industry and shove automobiles to the nothing end of the spectrum, we've kind of done more harm than good for ourselves. Like, yeah, the automobile industry, they get to do things cheaper, but us here in Michigan are kind of suffering because of it.